Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well this Wednesday. I was thinking it was Thursday this morning, but anyway. I want to thank you for joining the Note Closer Show. I guess it's episode 41, 42. I'm a little under the weather today, hence the late start. But as an entrepreneur and boss, you don't get any sick days. You got to show up. You got to make things happen. Yes, you got a little flexibility in your schedule, but the whole goal is to build a staff and a staff of people that can carry you when you're not there or when you are sick. And that's the great thing about, I think, the note business is it allows you to avoid bottlenecks. That's why the topic of today's call is don't be a bottleneck. Bottleneck busters, how to avoid that. And I think the first big decision that every successful entrepreneur has, I think, is to hire an assistant. You got to have somebody that can help you carry the ball, also be there to write down the good ideas or help you implement things, because most entrepreneurs are great at the forward thinking. They're not so good about the backwards thinking. They're not so good about taking something and running with it to completion. Hey, we're great about implementation of ideas, but when it comes to implementing, we need somebody there that can really has a strength of, okay, let me take that down. Who do I need to talk to get that done? Because what happens most of the time is us as solopreneurs, if you're a solopreneur, you are the bottleneck in your business. You can only do so much. Even if you work 24 hours a day, you can only do so much. And what's going to eventually happen is what has happened to me in the past is I work and burn both ends of the candle so bad that I end up crashing. You know, people are like, Scott, how do you have such a high energy, always going, getting things done? Well, I'm very lucky. I have a great staff. I got a great VP of operations. I just amazing people around me, but I can still be a bottleneck. And what I have to get beyond, and what many entrepreneurs get beyond, is blow that bottleneck up. Okay, if everything has to go through you, you either are a control freak, which many of us entrepreneurs are, especially in the real estate side. We're all control freaks a lot of times. Or B, you don't have a staff that is capable of making decisions and going with it. And that takes a process. That's a hard thing to do, to be able to train a good assistant or great staff to run with. You've got to it takes time. Because the biggest excuse I hear from people, well, they're not going to do as good a job as me immediately. That's a bullshit excuse. You have to give people time to learn what to do. That's a process. 90, 120 days, 180-day process to make things happen. But you want to hire good people. It's actually better if you hire somebody for the wrong job. It's better for you to get rid of them versus trying to make them good. Get rid of them and bring somebody on who's got the talent to make things happen. So, and most people don't realize that they put more money in, or they don't want the confrontational conversation about, hey, I'm going to have to let you go. It's just not a fit for the organization. And that's not what you want. You want to hire good people, because good people will pay for themselves. Good people will take things off of your plate, so you're not the lone man in the center circle of the circus spinning plates nonstop. And I know so many of us are. I think you guys would agree. If you feel like you're spinning too many plates, you either don't have enough vendors or doing too much. And I get it. Hey, there's a phase where you go from being an entrepreneur to being a business owner that you have to justify some expenses. Maybe you bring on somebody for 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week, 30 to 40, and then you evolve into that full-time position. It's also important to let people know what they're getting into. I think one of the best things that we did is we had a shadow day, because I think everybody will agree we do a ton of marketing. I had a shadow day for about 4 hours where people came in, and we sat in a conference room. I said, here's exactly a lot of the things that we're going to be doing on a daily, weekly basis. And yes, it has evolved from there. It's changed. But it gave people an idea. Okay, I'll be messing around with this. I'll be messing around with this. I'll be messing around with this. Or I'm going to be dealing with assets. Or here's what we're seeing. Here's what we're breaking down. Here's how we're diving into things. Okay. Cody asked a great question. When will a newer note investor know they need an assistant, assuming you have the cash flow to pay them? Now. Okay. You got start somebody at 5-10 hours. Have somebody start with your bookkeeping. Have somebody start with you're helping with your due diligence. It doesn't have to be a 40-hour-a-week thing. There are plenty of people. This is why I think it's also important. You can start off on the cheap side, hiring virtual assistants initially to handle some of that stuff. All right. Because if you look at what your hourly rate is, taking what you want to make in a year and break that down, if you want to make it in a year, divide that by 50 weeks and then divide that by 40 hours a week, that's what your hour is worth. Okay? So if you can hire somebody well below that for $10 an hour and they work 10 hours a week for you, handling bookkeeping, file stuff that is not important to you, or you have them come in and work 10 to 15 hours helping you with due diligence, and your hour is worth 125, you are exponentially growing yourself. You're exponentially squeezing 10 hours out of your 50-hour week. Or if you only got 20 hours a week because you're working a full-time job, you now just got 30 or 40 hours out of the week, which is almost a full-time person, okay? Because you combine your 20 hours part-time and their 10 or 20 hours that they're putting in part-time, that helps you go to new levels. It helps you close more deals. It helps you make more offers. You can't be a lone wolf in this business. I mean, you can and close a few deals here or there, but you're going to struggle. And you have to realize your staff, your assistants, are going to make mistakes, and mistakes are okay. You were not perfect when you began. The first email you sent out probably blew. So the first marketing you did probably sucked, but you teach them and they evolve over time. Like we all evolve over time, okay? You have to share things. You have to be open and believe in co-opetition to make things happen. Now, a second excuse I hear from people is like, well, I'm going to train them teach them everything, and they're just going to steal all my sources and leave. Great. If you're worried about your assistant stealing stuff and having doing better than you are, then you're a shitty investor. Because it should not matter to you. It shouldn't matter that people are going to leave, because they will. People are motivated by different things. Some people want to do the thing themselves. That's great. Now you've got an ally in the business, somebody that you maybe have trained or mentored. You can combine things, a potential JV partner, a potential funding partner. You divide and conquer through co-opetition. We don't have a lot. I mean, we have a ton of co-opetition in the note space, but in other real estate wholesalers, realtors, REO agents, and stuff like that, there is no co-opetition. It's all cutthroat. You know, kill or be killed, eat or be eaten kind of mentality out there. And so if you're a new note investor who's closing on your first couple deals, or you're still working full-time, you need to hire somebody 10 hours a week. 10 hours at $10 is $100 a week. Trust me, for what you guys spending coffee or dining out, that's one meal and dining out to pay for somebody. It's well worth it. All right? It is well worth it. How do you find people? Well, you go to local colleges, go to local business departments, local marketing departments, local accounting offices, anybody looking for work. That's where you find somebody. And honestly, the better you pay, the better quality person you're going to get. Maybe you need to post a Monster instead of Craigslist. Okay? Maybe you need to hire a headhunter to help find something versus somebody who can't even get their resume right. Okay? You want to hire good people, because good people will save you so much money, and their learning curve is much faster versus somebody who's slower and doesn't have the skills to make things done. So that's what it comes down to. One of the great places we have found help is we found local colleges. We have brought in interns. When we did a lot of direct mail back a few years back, we found the local high school had seniors that come in for job skills, and they would basically stuff envelopes all day for credit. And it didn't cost us anything except basically cheese pizza and a large Dr. Pepper. Because it was them building skills they could put on the resume. So there's a variety of ways for you to find help to make things happen. Go to your local meetup group, your local real estate club. If anyone wants to get together, you don't have to just try to coach people or teach it, because I know some people are like, I don't want to run a meetup group and just end up coaching somebody. But if you've got somebody who's really interested and you get a tape in, you might want to, hey, divide and conquer together. Hey, come on over. Let's meet. Let's break down due diligence on these assets and go from there. You take the first half, I'll take the second half. Or you pull rental rates and I'll pull photos, and divide and conquer that way. And that's a great way to make things happen, because what often happens is if you are trying to do it all, raise capital, market, break down due diligence, or do all the other job functions, you are the bottleneck, and you need to bust that. You need to take a Drano to it and explode it, and call Mr. Roto-Rooter and Roto-Root those solo entrepreneur roots out of the system. Any other questions, comments from people? This is probably going to be a short one. I'm obviously struggling with a little cold today, but when I came in the office. I honestly, I did not want to get out of bed today. I didn't get much sleep last night. It was raining, thunderstorming here pretty good. And my dog Prince is like, "Oh, I'm scared," which doesn't help when you have a cold either. And didn't really feel to do it, but I had to come. Luckily, my office is near, and I have my minions, Nicole, Ryan, Jennifer, and Greg, working on things. He's like, here, I need you to focus on this today, or we got a little bit of a change. Can you focus on this? So I did come up to the office, which I thought you'd be for 30 minutes, turned into about 3 hours, which is okay, because they're getting things done. Yeah, we have a little bit of a snafu with an email and a computer crashing. you know what? It's a short-term problem to worry about. Hey, 3 out of 4 people rocking and rolling along. That's the biggest thing, is they were still able to get things done even though I was late getting to the office, or I'm not feeling up to par either. But, you know, you don't get sick days as an entrepreneur boss. You have to be there and lead and generate things because, hey, you have to lead from the front. You got to be the big dog and lead from the front and keep the mindset going forward of what needs to be done, and delegate or work with your vendors to make things happen. So, any other questions, comments? Hey, it's good to see some people on there. Hey, Stacy and Stacy Wall. Hey, Savannah Paul. Good to see you guys. Hey, Cody Cox, take care of that wing, buddy. Thanks for the great question. Jason Cisneros, hey, good morning or good afternoon. Where I think this is good morning where you're at, but good afternoon where I'm at. So I want to thank all you guys that are liking the videos. Would really love it. Greg Arcizo, great Alex, Christopher Bowles, good to see you, buddy. Michael Rogers. You know, you guys, if you have questions, comments, would love to see the comments, what you like about this stuff, you know. Thanks for the likes, guys. Love the questions. We are here to help you make things happen. Now, also, excited as well, we have another note draft tomorrow from 2 p.m. Central Time to probably 4 or 5. We got 34 assets that we're breaking down live in front of you guys. We got pulled photos, potential exit strategies. I talked to the asset manager on this one. They have roughly estimated purchase prices, not quite true reserves, but we got pretty close to an idea of what he's looking for to be in the ballpark of what these assets are. With nicer assets, I think the average fair market value is about $72,000, $73,000. So join us at 2 p.m. Central Time for that. You can find the link also in my Facebook profile or an email if you're in the system on how to be able to join that and watch me break down assets for 3 hours and be able to make offers. If you're part of the Fast Tracker Mastermind, you would have gotten the tape Sunday, I think, in Basecamp is my son. So you guys got a 2-day, 3-day head start to start breaking down assets and going from there. So otherwise, everybody else will get the tape at 5 o'clock today that's registered for the webinar already. So otherwise, have a great day. Thank you, guys. Go out and knock them dead. Make things happen, guys. Go hire you somebody. Get somebody to help you out, because it's better to have them trained when you're not too busy, because then when you're way too busy, you're not going to have the time or the bandwidth to make it happen. So prepare now to plan for a better future. See you guys at the top, everybody. Bye.